Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another lesson in the Thinking into Results Facilitation Program. This is lesson 7, the terror barrier. Ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely an amazing lesson. I consider it another major stepping stone in the Thinking into Result process. In fact, I do believe that it is a summation of a number of other previous lessons, and we'll see why as we go through the lesson. And how we will do the lesson today is that we will start with an introduction to the terror barrier. We'll review lesson 6 worksheet, and then we'll pause to watch the video, after which we'll come back and reiterate some of the key points, breaking those down into stepping stones, as in nuts and bolts, so that you can get a full appreciation of the points. We'll then look on the lesson 7 worksheet, and then we'll conclude and take any questions. Now, before we begin, my question to you is this. I want to know, have you ever gotten inspired, set a huge goal, or got a big idea? And as you flirt with the idea, you get excited, because you can continue to flirt with the idea for as long as you want. But as soon as you start to move towards taking action towards changing this idea or this goal into reality, then you start to experience this doubt, this fear, the anxiety. If you have experienced this feeling before, then this lesson is for you, because you would have come face to face with what we call the terror barrier. And this lesson will explain to you why that happens and how to get beyond that terror barrier. That terror barrier, my friends, is where most dreams get parked. This is where a lot of big ideas get their commitment check. It is like a huge brick wall. And understanding it and why it happens will actually get you past it. So therefore, my aim in this lesson is to give you a clear understanding of why we really experience the terror barrier. And understanding that will be your passport to getting beyond that terror barrier. Now, a quick look back on lesson 6, because the understanding of coming out of lesson 6 will take you to the experience that we've just mentioned. Now remember, lesson 6 speaks about environment being your looking glass and talks about your self-image. Your current results are based on the image that you have of yourself. It goes without a doubt. A limited self-image causes limited results. Now we looked on how to write a script of yourself and ensuring that you create a new you by starting with a new self-image. And so once you start to create that new self-image, that is when, my friends, you will come face to face with the terror barrier. And that's why we're going to explain to you what is happening and how to get beyond that terror barrier. Stay tuned. We're going to be pausing now for you to watch your video. And when we come back from the video, then we will go into the nuts and bolts and reiterate some of the key points from the video. See you on the other side of this break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I trust that you would have enjoyed the video and you would have gotten a fulsome review. Now, remember we mentioned that this is pretty much a summation of a number of other lessons. And to get a full understanding of this lesson, we ought to go back to the stick person that as we taught in lesson 4. Now, the smaller image on the lower portion of the screen, again, represents your current situation. It says bondage because if you're not living the life that you truly desire, then essentially you're living in bondage. The human being is designed to grow and expand. And if you're not doing so, then we consider it to be in bondage, unfortunately. Now, the larger circle represents the mind and the lower circle represents the body. The upper portion of the larger circle represents the conscious mind and the lower portion, the subconscious mind. Remember, we all have access to the infinite source of intelligence. And we are all pulling from that infinite source on a continuous basis. We are like conduits. And so our thoughts that we think in our conscious mind, we impress those upon the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind then pushes that to the body. The body vibrates. And as the body vibrates, it gets us to take action. And those actions that we take produces results. In this case, we refer to that as the X thoughts, X vibration that produces X results. As you see here, when that happens, when we access the infinite source of intelligence and we pull X energy and we think X thoughts, we produce X results. That in itself is showing you that X type energy is flowing in and through you. Whatever that amounts to in tangible everyday life, let us say for argument's sake, you are thinking thoughts of earning $500,000 per month. Those are the thoughts that you will inevitably impress on your subconscious mind. And that will get you to do what is required to earn $500,000 per month. And if you do not believe, you can take a look. I challenge you to look, examine your thoughts. You tell me if you are thinking thoughts about a different figure from what you are earning today. Because if you do, if you start to think about different thoughts, that is what we call the why thoughts. And so if you start to entertain a different type of thought from what you're currently experiencing, then this is where you bring in an outside idea. And this also happens when you set goals. So you bring in a why idea in the consciousness. And you can flirt with this idea for as long as you wish, and nothing will happen in the body or the subconscious mind. But when you flirt with that idea and you get excited, and then you decide, wow, maybe I should start taking action to turn this into reality. Then you start to impress that on the subconscious mind. As you now see, in the subconscious mind, you have the Y and X energy flowing. The subconscious mind, as it were, will in turn send this Y energy to the body, and then the body starts to experience XY vibration. Now, in your consciousness, you start to think about how can I turn this into reality? Where will I get the resources from? You start to think about your how, why, what, where, when. In your current environment, you may not see how you can do this. And so because you don't see how you can do this, then you start to think about how am I going to do this? Then you start to experience fear and doubt and anxiety. When you start to experience those fear, doubt, and anxiety, then that is when you're going up to what we're calling the terror barrier. And as you continue to doubt and as you continue to experience fear, you hit smack on with the terror barrier because you start to say, this just might not work. What am I going to do? And you bounce right back to your comfort zone. But it doesn't have to be that way, because that, my friend, is because of a lack of awareness. Not understanding that this is essentially just a process. This is how the mind and body works. And as long as you entertain something in the subconscious mind, which is not your current norm, it is going to put you in that turbulence, that state of turbulence. The anxiety is what we call it. But without understanding that that is what is happening, you're going to smack that terror barrier hard as you can imagine. Now, As I said before, it doesn't have to be that way. Once you gain an understanding that this is what is happening, this is just a process, and you continuously get emotionally involved with the why idea over and over and over again. So you repetitively get emotionally involved with the why idea. Then you find that before you know it, you will smash right through that terror barrier. Because as I say, it's just about understanding it. And once you understand it, then you continue to do what you are inspired to do. If it is to make a call to initiate a meeting, if it is to write a letter to someone to seek a partnership, if it is to change jobs, if it is to start a business, if it is to change your location, if it is whatever it is that that outside idea is, you continue to act on it. Because once your mind can conceive it, it means that it is your natural instinct. It is the creativity in you seeking manifestation. And so all you have to do is to act in spite of that fear. And before you know it, voila, you will shatter that terror barrier and you will be on the other side in the land of freedom. Now, we're not saying that when you get beyond the terror barrier once, there will never ever be another terror barrier. Because as I said before, it is humans' natural tendency to grow and expand. And so you may experience the growth in one aspect of your life. You may shatter the terror barrier in one aspect. And there are other areas that you may need to shatter the terror barrier in as well. But once you understand the process in one aspect, it's a simpler matter of duplicating it in other areas. And once you do, my friends, you will see growth and expansion coming more rapid than you've seen ever before. Because it's understanding the process and doing it over and over again makes it more acceptable, and you were able to do it more readily, and also you'll be more excited when you're doing the process. And so, my friend, I invite you to go back to where you would have parked some of your dreams. Go back to some of those fantasies that you would have thrown aside and employ this principle with the understanding of what is happening. Understand that it's just a matter of changing paradigms. This is how you change your paradigms. This is how you grow from one level to another. And when you get to the side of freedom, that becomes your new normal. And then you will have different terror barriers at higher levels. But you will be approaching these terror barriers with an understanding. And so, with that understanding, you'll be able to persevere and smash those terror barriers one after the other. And growth will become a part of your daily regime. And so, my friends, at this point in time, I want you to grab a hold of your worksheets, because with this knowledge, you must now revisit your goals to ensure that you're not just limiting yourself because of past terror barrier experiences. Replay your movie that you did in lesson 6 and identify the reasons why you're not living the life that you truly desire to live. That script will represent the new you. And if you're not living up to that script, then there's something missing. What are the terror barriers that you're experiencing? Go forth and shatter those terror barriers. It is time to shatter all terror barriers that you've been experiencing. So the next time that you come upon a terror barrier, don't bounce back, but instead smash right through it onto freedom. Repeat the process over and over and continue to grow. As I go, I want to leave you with this quote, because you either step forward into growth or you bounce back into safety, by Abraham Maslow. And finally, it's been my absolute pleasure serving you today. But at this time, I want to take any questions that you might have. But if you do not have any questions at this moment, The contact information will be in the description below. So you can reach out to us and leave your questions, comments, queries, concerns. Until then, stay strong, be positive, be awesome.